Are stackers ruining everything? Are we to blame? Are we the ones who are going to cause the next recession? Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching Yankee Stacking. Really appreciate you checking out my channel and watching this video. If at the very end you like it, then I'd really appreciate you hitting that like at the bottom. If not, you can even hit the dislike. I won't matter. I won't mind. So here's the deal. I got a response from a prior video that I want to talk to you about. It was quite an interesting comment. The video was why I am stacking silver and gold now. And it got quite a lot of views, actually. But the comment that really stood out to me was this, from a Dearmeyer1. He or she said, how exactly does U.S. national debt grow by trillions of dollars during a recession and anti-inflammatory contraction of the U.S. economy when there are only a few trillion U.S. dollars actually circulating in the U.S. economy? And how much blame for a recession do stackers like you deserve for constantly talking down the U.S. economy and the U.S. dollar as you promote stacking silver as the solution to every financial economic crisis involving the U.S. dollar? Wow. Actually, I have to give him props for very creative use of quotes throughout his comment. And the comment does go on for a couple more lines. I wanted to cut it short for this video. And I actually do want to take time to address a couple of his points. So why don't we look at the top here? And let me just say, I really feel that this response was genuine, very earnest, heartfelt. I think this person really, really has an issue with stacking, not just superficially, but at the core. And there's something more behind this comment, I believe. I did respond. Back and forth we went. It was quite an interesting interaction. Let's take the first line. How exactly does U.S. national debt grow by trillions of dollars during a recession? So he's talking about the national debt, which is massive, 22, 23 trillion. It's growing like crazy, probably $1 trillion each year. And it does grow every year. Why? Well, remember a couple things. One, money that was actually backed by precious metals, like what you're looking at right here, this stuff. This is constitutional silver, some dimes, quarters, half dollars. This was minted not because they didn't have anything better to mint this coinage with. It wasn't because they were out of zinc and they needed to use something like silver. No, there was a reason that not only did the Constitution mandate that our coinage should be made with precious metals of gold and silver, but this was a way to keep our government in check. By actually minting and having our currency backed by precious metals, we were putting a lid on what the federal government could do when it came to printing currency. Our founding fathers knew full well that if you took away precious metals, if you devalued or debased our currency, or I should say our money, our currency could be inflated to extreme measures. In fact, that's what happens throughout all of recorded history with national currency. When a nation does not have backing to their currency, every single currency is inflated to oblivion or dies of other causes. And when we came off our gold standard in 1971 by decree by Nixon, we exposed ourselves to that type of inflation. The world's reserve currency is the United States dollar. But we need to be careful. We're not so cocky we believe that that could never change. It could. And in fact, check this article out. Yeah, okay. This is not some stacker saying this. This is none other than the Bank of England Governor Mark Carney. He this is a big deal, guys. He said that we should truly question whether the US dollar should be the reserve currency. Maybe we need to end it. So we need to be careful. Our national debt is created in a couple different ways. First off, our US Treasury will issue treasuries that are bought on the open market. That is purchased by nations like China and Japan. In fact, Japan just became our #1 holder of our US Treasuries over China. It's very interesting. But sometimes the Federal Reserve will actually purchase these treasuries, and that's what's called monetizing a debt. And remember, a treasury is nothing more than this, an IOU, just like this little stackum, which is backed by the full faith and credit of the Yankee Stacking channel. If you haven't seen this video, which was one of my favorite videos to do with my son, Little Stacks, you got to check that out right there. It was hilarious. As a YouTube channel content creator, we kind of like the term monetize. It means we can maybe earn a little bit of money on the side, but monetizing the debt is a very dangerous thing. It allows our government to borrow more and more at a faster and faster pace to pay for stuff, benefits. Our government loves to grow and promise things. And those treasuries, those IOUs, facilitate that. Also, as a side note, when the Federal Reserve drops rates so low, it makes those IOUs even more attractive. It's free money. Now, I said that was one way. And frankly, that issuance of debt is not the #1 way that we increase the money supply. The second way is fractional reserve banking. And I'm not going to get into the details, but just let me tell you that once the wheel gets going, the banks start lending more and more and more, and they only have to hold a very little in reserve. So that process, that fractional banking, fractional reserve banking, is what explodes our money supply and what makes inflation. So the national debt is growing by trillions of dollars, but it's not happening during a recession. See, that was another mistake here, I think, in what Diermeyer was saying. A recession is the free market's response to malinvestment and acts like increasing the money supply. It is the free market's response to try to encourage savings and living within our means, both at a personal level, at a corporate level, at a government level. A recession is actually a good thing when we are being irresponsible with our debt. It is something that no one really wants to go through, and it is painful. People lose jobs. People see businesses close. There is a severe contraction of spending. But let's remember something important. The way an economy truly grows and gets healthy and is something that we can be proud of is not with IOUs. We shouldn't be proud in our personal lives that we have more credit card debt or a larger mortgage. That's silliness. What we should be proud of is that we are a producing nation that knows how to save, and then from that savings can reinvest into businesses, especially small businesses, that we can grow and produce and then use our profits to reinvest in those businesses and spend money. What happens is our Federal Reserve wants to shortcut that, wants to go around all the saving and all the production and reinvestment and get right to the consumption. That's what Keynesian economic theory says. It's all about consumption. And if we could just gin the economy by getting more debt and make people spend more, we're going to be fine. Nope, that's a bad road. And again, unfortunately, recession can get us back on the right track. All right, so if I look at this quote again, it says, when there is only a few trillion US dollars actually circulating in the US economy. That's true. We got about $1.7 trillion circulating around. But you know what? Who cares how much is circulating around at this point? Granted, in a recession, a thing called velocity comes into play. I'm not going to go into that in too much depth, but basically what that means is people start to lend less, spend less, and money, and the velocity or the path of money going around slows way down. And that can be a problem. But we don't need to be worrying about how much money or currency is in circulation nearly as much as how much currency we've actually created. That is the danger. Now, the second sentence that Dear Meyer says is actually where I get the title of this video from. How much blame for a recession do stackers like yourself, like you, deserve for constantly talking down the U.S. economy and the U.S. dollar? Oh boy, that's a big one. It actually reminds me of something that's happened just recently in my family. So maybe this is almost like a Yankee stacking story here on the side, but my daughter, the one that's getting married, my 22-year-old, recently made a decision that I strongly disagreed with. In fact, I actually told her that I thought it was one of the worst decisions she had made. Now, she actually came to me and really wanted to know what Dad thought. And, that made me feel good that she at least cared about what my opinion was. Now, she's an adult. She's getting married. She can make her own decisions. But she really wanted to know what I thought. And I told her, I said, sweetie, this is a really big mistake. In my opinion, you are going to rue the day you actually made this choice. It's going to go bad. I believe it's going to really cause heartache, and I think you're going to regret making this choice. There, I said it. But what she said later blew me away, and it kind of made me go, uh-oh. Have I not been a good dad? She literally said, Dad, sometimes I think you want this to happen. You really do want me to fail or this bad thing to occur because you think it's a bad decision. Wow. I looked her square in the eye and I said from my heart, honey, I hope, I pray that I am 100% wrong. I want to be wrong. I want you to say, see, Dad, it's fine. You didn't have to worry. You didn't have to be concerned. And quite frankly, you were wrong. I want to be wrong. I told her I loved her again. And I told her I only wanted the best for her. And here's the kicker. I am absolutely not going to ever say, told you so. See, I was right. I love my country. I want nothing more than our country to get its act together and to succeed. I want every administration. I wanted Bush's, both Bushes. I wanted Obama. I want Donald Trump's administration to succeed. I want our country to flourish. But anybody should be able to clearly see the danger and the stupidity of what we're doing. This is not how to run a country, a business, or your personal finance. It never has been, it never will be. And precious metals, this to me is protection against what I believe our country is headed to in accelerated fashion. I've made it clear many times. Do I want it to happen? No. And frankly, I don't think precious metal stackers are pushing us towards a recession or a depression. There's no way that just by promoting stacking silver and gold is going to cause anything. Guys, we are in such a little tiny minority. We don't move the needle. I appreciate what Dear Meyer said in that he's giving us way too much credit. Us promoting stacking silver as the solution to every financial economic crisis involving the dollar? No, it's not the only answer. Quite frankly, it's an inflationary hedge. This is not the way we should have to stack. How's that? We shouldn't have to do this. It's fun, don't get me wrong, but because of the poor behavior, we do this. Or at least I do this. This is stacking the Yankee way. So that's about it. I've enjoyed this very much. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. If you agree or disagree, I really do appreciate comments that are, well, hopefully respectful, but give me your honest opinion. And, well, as always, I hope your day is A-okay.